welcome. This is a quick little lesson. Should be really easy for you to pick up and fun to do. The first idea here is to look at these 5 forms: the E form, the D form, the C form, A form, and G form as forms. Don't look at them as those chords. Look at them as forms. And the reason you do that is to connect them, just like the cage system. But this is how you connect them in the first place. This is the first reason that I used. When I played an E chord, I would target this note right here. I would target this note and look at it when I was about ready to play the D form. I'd look at that, those 2 notes right there, bar that, and I'd play that. Now in this case, you can play the E note open because it is an E chord. And then you target this note, this little triangle area of the D form. You target that, put your finger there, and then lay down those other 2 fingers like that. And if you want, you can play the E string because it's an E chord in the C form. And then you target this note right here. You look at that and you picture this A form and you go to it. Go to that. Alright, target this note, go to that, and then go to the A form. Of course, my fingers aren't that good to play this squatty little fat little fingers. I could try it. I can do it like this. And then, of course, the G form, just do that. Or you can just bar these 2 with your little fingers and bar these 2. Or just play these 4 strings. And of course, these last 2 notes right here and right here are the E's on the next E form, which is right there, and they are the E there and the E there. So basically you're back to the E form at the bottom. Or if you wanted to, you could almost play this and leave the 2 strings open. It's kind of neat. Okay, so that's the forms, the 5 forms in the 5 different places. And if you compare it to the cage system, which Keith Allen was the originator back in that school he put together in San Francisco in 1975. I think it was Guitar Player magazine did a little thing, but he starts with the C chord, then the A chord. You're playing a C chord in the A form, and then a C chord in the G form. and then a C chord in the E form, and then a C chord in the D form. 5 different C chords. It's pretty much the same. I mean, you know, you're basically looking at 5 different ways to play a chord. So the reason I learned the E first was because this was called the number 1 pentatonic. You know, back in, I don't know, back then, however many years ago. So if I was to play an E, I would play this pentatonic where I start on the E root. Right? So, but that's on the next lesson. And it's going to be really fun. So what we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to play 3 chords, a 1, 4, 5 progression in 5 different places. So here we go. We're going to start down here and play those first 3 chords and then go back to the G. A G chord, a C chord, a D chord, and then a G chord. So then let's go to the next one. You can see that it starts out in the E form on the 3rd fret. And then the A form on the 3rd fret. And then from the 2nd fret, you make the D. 2nd fret, you make the C form, which is a D chord. And then you go back to the E form on G. So then, moving on up, let's go to the 5th fret. The 5th fret, right here, we play a G chord in the D form. And then you play a C chord in the G form. And then you play a D chord in the A form. Then go back to the D form. Alrighty, moving on up. Alright, we're looking at the 7th fret, which is right here, 7th fret. So from the 7th fret, we're playing a G chord in the C form. And then a C chord in the E form, or you can play this. And then you play a G chord, a D chord in the G form. And then back to the C form. can see these in here. Like if you look right here, you see the G form right here. And then when you play the C form, there's the root for the C form. And then when you play the D form, there's the D form right there. You can see all three in all 5 positions. You can see the root for the E form, and then the root for the A form right there for the C, and then the C right here is the C shape, you know, the root right there for the D form. So it's pretty cool. All 3 of these are, you can see them in here if you just look for them. Here's the D form, right? And then here's the root for the C form. So the C is right there in the G form. You can see the root right there. And then, you know, you can see the A form. Right here's the root. The A form for the D chord right there. So once you understand that you can play all 3 chords in 5 different places, you can see those. So moving on. What we're going to do now is we're going to change keys on you and do the same thing with an E, A, and an E, A, and a B7. We're going to throw in a B7. So here's a E chord in the E form. And then an A chord in the A form. Now listen to it carefully. A B7 in the C form. Now why is it the C form? Because this is the root. And the chord is basically going back that way. When I know we got this note pushed down on this one, but basically the third is going back that way. Besides, this way would be the A form if the root was right here, here and here. So we're kind of like going into this area off the neck. If you wanted to do a pentatonic, which we will do later on the next video, and you're going to love it because you get that change, that feeling, the feeling of chord change when you're playing the pentatonics. Like I'll go up on the 12th fret and do the pentatonics like this, and then go back down in the A pentatonic, and then you have a B7 arpeggio. And then back to the E. But the B7, you'll be, on the next video we're going to do, you'll have 5 different ways to play a 7th chord, plus you'll have 5 different arpeggios. That sound nice, huh? So that'll be on the next video, but right now we're just doing chords. The next video will cover pentatonics as mostly, and I should probably try to find a way to have it recording. Okay, here we go. So we already did this one right here. E, A, B7. All right, moving on up to the 2nd fret. We're going to do the E chord in the D form. Now listen, you can play this E note, the bottom note. You can open that string because this is an E chord, right? So you can play the D form and play the E chord with that open string on the bottom. And then play an A chord in the G form. And then play a B7. And then go back to an E in the D form. Alrighty. Let's move it on up the neck. Alright. So we are going to be on the 4th fret. And you can see that that A chord goes to the 5th fret. Okay, the first chord is going to be an E chord in the C form from the 4th fret. Now, same thing applies in this position. You can play that bottom string open. Now play A chord with the E form. Now play a B7, and this is in the G form. And it's kind of hard to get that. I'll try. Then go back to the C form. Let's go up to the 7th fret. Up to the 7th fret we go. And you're playing an E chord in the A form. And then you're playing an A chord in the D form. You could leave this one right here. A string. And then play a B7, 7th fret, B7 in the E form. Back to the E in the A form. All right. This is the last one. It's going to be an E in the G form. E in the G form. Just bar that and get that G form with the other 3 fingers. You know, if you can't do that, you can just play this. Don't play this note unless you put that finger in. I have to put my finger way up here like this to get the hand to do that. Alright. There's an E chord in the G form. And then put your little finger on the A and make that C form. And then you're going to play from the 9th fret here. So something like Alright, well thanks a lot. This is the end of this video. On the next video I'm going to cover the pentatonics in 3 different chords in 5 different places. So it should be a lot of fun. It's the same thing as this. It'll continue from this point on, and it will just expand your mind. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye. All right, that's it. That's progression, 1-4-5 progression in 5 different places. Now come on back on the next lesson. We're going to cover the pentatonics, changing a 1-4-5 progression in 5 different places, and we're going to include the pentatonics. Come on back. See ya. Have a good night.